Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will learn how to attach a new disk to a Linux operating system and mount it to a file system. We will also see how to make the disk mount permanent, so even after a system reboot, the disk remains available automatically. Attaching a new disk is a very common task for Linux admins. In day-to-day operations, admins often add new disk storage when the system is running low on disk space or when file system capacity needs to be increased. So let's move to our Linux machine and see step by step how this process is performed. So currently I'm into RHEL VM box and I have installed a RHEL 10 on my system. So before we start our machine, we need to attach a new disk using a setting option. Then go to storage, click on this add attachment, hard disk, and we will create a new disk with the size of 2 GB. We do not need to touch anything apart from that. Just click finish, choose our new disk, which is RHEL 10_7, which is a disk name, which is of 2 GB, choose and OK. So now we will start our machine. So we will wait for a machine to come online. So let me log in into the system. So my system is up and running now. So I will open a terminal. So make sure you are logged in as root before you make any changes to the system. So let me type command sudo su so that I will become a root user on this machine. So now I'm logged in as root user. You can see that. So the very first thing, you need to ensure that your disk is properly attached to your Linux operating system. So how do we check that? Using lsblk command. So it will give you a list of devices that is already attached to your system, but we are looking for our device, which is SDC size of 2 GB. So that means we have successfully attached a new disk to our Linux operating system using RHEL VM. So now we need to format this disk so that we can use it and mount it to a file system. So how do we format it? Using fdisk command, for which device SDC. So we are into a utility tool which helps us to create new partition and new disk on the Linux operating system. So we will type N because we are making a new disk. We will select a partition type, which is P primary. We are making only one partition, so that's why we are leaving it default. So for this first sector, we just enter for the default selection, and for the last sector as well, we enter for the default selection. So now we have created a new partition one of type Linux operating system and size of 2 GB. Or we can verify when we type P, it will give the information. A device name is now device SDC1 and the type is Linux and the size is 2 GB. So now we need to write to our disk. How do we do that? We simply type W, enter. So now our partition has been created successfully. We have exited the tool now. Now how do we verify if our disk has been created? Simple command lsblk. So now you can see that our partition has been created with the name SDC1 of 2 GB size. So what is the next step? So now we will mount this drive to a file system which we will create now. So first of all, we will create a folder name data. Okay, it is already exists, so I'm choosing a different name, data SDC1. So how do we verify if our file system is created? I mean the directory ls data SDC1. So it is created. So now we will mount this new drive to our file system. So it's a very simple step. Type in mount dev SDC1 to data SDC1. Okay, so we got an error which says wrong FS type, bad option, bad superlock. So why this happens? Because we did not assign a file system to a new drive. So we can simply assign file system to a new drive, make fs xfs dev SDC1. So we have successfully created a XFS file system on dev SDC1. So now we will mount this new drive to our file system SDC1 to data SDC. So now our file system has been successfully mounted to our data SDC1. How do we verify? df-ht data SDC1. So you can simply see that the original file system is SDC1 and where it is mounted on data SDC1. So now we will make an entry in fstab so that whenever you reboot your system, your file system remains available all the time. So how do we do that? First of all, we will find a UUID for this device so that we can make a persistent mount. So how do we check? blk id dev SDC1. So just simply copy this ID. Now open etc fstab, edit this file UUID, paste that you have copied. Now we need to mention data SDC1 where our original file system is mounted, the type of file system we made, which is XFS. Rest of the values will be same. No need to touch anything. Now we will save this file. So we have successfully mounted our file system to dev SDC1 to data SDC1, and we successfully made an entry in the fstab as well. First we will verify our file system information here. So it's there. The original file system is dev SDC1 and it is mounted on data SDC1. So now we will reboot our system and see if this becomes persistent. We simply reboot our system. So let me wait for this device to come online. Then we will verify if our file system becomes persistent or not. So let me log in into the system. So now we will verify our file system. We will type in a very simple command df-ht. So here you can see that our file system data SDC1 is successfully mounted on dev SDC1. And how this happened? Because we made a permanent entry in fstab. So now whenever our system will reboot, the file system entry remains available all the time. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, relatives if they have interest in Linux operating system, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like that. Thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful day. Bye bye.